Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Joel Rosen. I am the Adrenal Fatigue Recovery Ninja, and today I want to talk to you about which labs for cortisol levels. That was a question that someone asked me in my private Facebook group. If you're not a member of my private Facebook group, then I'll post a link after this video, and make sure you like this video so that we can continue bringing you great content. But anyway, someone asked, hey, which labs for cortisol levels? Meaning, which labs are the best to measure? And what I would answer with that is, it really depends on what you want to find out. Meaning, if you're stressed out, you're exhausted, you don't handle stress the same way you used to, you have a bad circadian rhythm, meaning you're tired when you should be awake, or you're awake when you should be tired, you have crashes in the middle of the day, there's brain fog, there's focus, there is just not handling your stressors the way that you used to, then you absolutely want to measure cortisol levels. Cortisol is the hormone that your adrenal glands release in times of stress in order to deal with stress. And that means to break down your available energy stores so that they're there. It means making adrenaline and neurotransmitters to be more alert. It means helping out your immune system and being able to settle down inflammation. It also means to be, balancing your fluid levels and your electrolyte levels. So you really want to get a best variety. That's what I would answer. The thing I would say is, it's not so much how do you measure it, what are the different ways that you can measure it. So one of the ways you can measure it is with blood, and that's the typical go-to that most traditional doctors are going to do. You look at your blood, it's what's bound to a protein. They usually do it first thing in the morning. You're looking at the absolute amount, or how much hormone is being released at that time. Typically, you're not going to see the free form of the hormone, because this is the part that is not bound to a protein, although some blood tests can do it. You don't see doctors measure it too much. And it's a good starting point. You can look at your pituitary hormones. You can see, is the pituitary regulated properly? Are some of those pituitary hormones not responding, or are they responding too much? That can give you some ideas as to what's going on at the glandular level. Saliva is a really great way of testing, because then you could look at that circadian rhythm. Whereas blood, you're doing it at one time of the day. Saliva, you're doing it at several times of the day, and it correlates really well with your circadian rhythm. Meaning, you should have high cortisol in the morning, and you should have low cortisol at night, and throughout the day it steadily falls. And if you are measuring your cortisol at one time of the day, you're not going to see that circadian response, and you're going to miss out on how the adrenals are functioning. And lastly, the urine. The urine has been around for a while in terms of the total collection, but now what we're looking at is different times of the day. So it tries to measure that circadian rhythm and sees how your pituitary and your hippocampus and the parts of your body that release at different times of the day are working just like saliva. Some studies will show that it's not as reliable. I would disagree, seeing as I've been doing so many of them. You do see a circadian response, meaning someone who's tired in the morning does have low cortisol output. Someone who's wired at night does have high cortisol output. But the best thing about the Dutch test, or the urinary test, is it looks at the metabolites. So you can see the free fraction of the hormone, the part that's not bound to a protein, the part that's bound to a protein, your total DHEA, the metabolites that make up DHEA. You can look at estrogens in 8 different levels in phase 1 and phase 2. Suffice it to say, you can see a lot with the Dutch test. So we really like to look at the saliva, the blood, and the urine, because then you can look at the angle from 3 different ways. And the most important test is the follow-up test. Can't tell you how many people that I see who we've done tests with prior to coming to see me. We look at their test results, and I try to look at their follow-up results, and I don't see any. How do we know if you're getting better? So I'd probably answer the question as which labs for the cortisol levels is the second test. The other answer would be all of it: blood, urine, and saliva. So anyways, I hope you found that helpful. My name is Dr. Joel Rosen. I am the Adrenal Fatigue Recovery Ninja, and I look forward to ending your adrenal fatigue nightmare. Thank you so much.